say, oh, hi, neshama, shenatata bi. I thank you, God, for the soul you've placed within me.
Elohai, Elohai, neshama, shenatata bi tehorahi, atavarata, ata yitzarta, ata nefachta bi. Ata mishamra bekirbi. Elohai, Elohai, neshama, shanatata bi tehorahi. Elohai, Elohai, neshama, shanatata bi tehorahi.
We continue on page 63 with Psalm 92 as we read the italics responsively.
It is good to give thanks to God, to sing praises to your name,
To tell of your love in the morning,
and
to sing of your faithfulness at night.
playing with an instrument of 10 strings, sounding like the lute and stroking the harp.
Your works have made me rejoice, and your glories move me to sing.
How great are your works, O God, how profound your design.
The insensitive will never appreciate your creations, nor will the fool understand life's meaning.
The wicked may flourish like grass, and evil may multiply, but they are all doomed to failure.
But you, O Eternal, shall be exalted forever. All shall proclaim that Adonai is just.
Let every living being bless your name, and let every spirit glorify our God forever. Throughout all the time we will have no ruler, but you are God.
You guide the world with love and touch each of your creations with care and kindness.
You neither slumber nor sleep. You cause the speechless to utter words, and the wrongly imprisoned to go free. You support the fallen, heal the sick, and raise up the lonely. To you alone do we give thanks.
Throughout the service, there'll be a number of times that we pause from our fixed prayers and the traditional readings that we do to have our students share some reflections about what they've been learning about for this year. And so we start off by asking them a question about what it means to be a part of a Jewish community and what a Jewish community is.
To me, being part of the Jewish community means to feel welcomed by others and feel like I can count on other people. Also, to be like one big family.
Being part of the Jewish community means taking care of and helping one another, being reliable and having people you can rely on.
Being part of the Jewish community means being part of a group who share the same religion. It means we all have the same culture and we understand each other. I like being able to talk about Hebrew and ask questions if I need to.
Being a part of the Jewish community means to support others. A Jewish community is a special place where people can relate. If we don't support each other, our community will fall apart, and we don't want that.
Being a part of the Jewish community means coming together, celebrating our culture, and learning about our history. When we come together, it is nice to know you have something in common. It is also cool to find out your friends may be Jewish.
Being part of a Jewish community means you have to work together, not against each other. It means helping each other when there is a need. Being part of the Jewish community means you can trust the community you're in. You can talk about the religion you believe in, even when you can't at school.
Being part of a Jewish community means being in a group. It is something to be grateful for.
Being a part of the Jewish community means being included with people who are like you. It is being a part of a Jewish family.
We continue on page 65 as we rise together for our call to worship.
Adonai, Baruch. Praise be our God, to whom all praise is due. Baruch Adonai, Baruch Leolam Va'ed.
Praise be our God, to whom all praise is due, now and forever.
Baruchu et Adonai, HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai, HaMevorach, Leolam Va'ed.
Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvorei choshech, oseh shalom, uvorei et hakol. Hameir la'aretz v'la'adarim, aleha barachamim, uvtuvo mechadesh, b'chol yom, tamid ma'aseh bereshit. Our God, ruler of the world,
who makes light to shine and darkness to descend upon us. God has taught us the meaning of peace and shapes all things that we touch. With compassion, God gives the earth light, renews the work of creation day by day. Ma'asecha Adonai, kulam v'chochma
asita ma'a haaretz kin yanecha tit barach Adonai Eloheinu al shevach ma'aseh yadecha ve'al me'orei or she'asita yifa'arucha sela baruch atah Adonai yotzer hamorot.
How great are your works, O God! In wisdom you make them all. The earth is filled with your creations. For the
glow of the stars
and the work of your hands, let all of your creations give you praise. Blessed is the eternal, maker of the morning light.
Great is your love for us and abiding your compassion. Our ancestors trusted in you, and you taught them how to value life. Be gracious now to us, and with kindness guide us with your understanding, so that we might both learn and teach the laws of truth.
Blessed is our God, who in love has chosen Israel to be a people.
Perfect. And we invite up Mindy's Tuesday class, along with Miriam's class, to lead us in the watchword of our faith. One, two, three.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Hear, O
Israel, our Lord our God, the Lord is one. Baruch Shem Kavod, Mahuto Leolam Va'ed. Praised be God's name, whose majesty is forever and ever.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בה בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
You shall love the eternal your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, and they shall be a symbol before your eyes. Write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourselves to be your God. I, the Eternal, am your God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I, the Eternal, am your God.
These enduring words have been a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. Faith and choice bring understanding to the soul and sensitivity to the heart. In all times and places, our God has been a part of our lives. Our faith has been our rock and our help.
We watched God's wonders when we went free from Egypt. When slavery's chains were broken, we witnessed it. May those who have faith to believe also have the wisdom to be kind. O God, in whom we have all hope, we glorify your name now as people have praised you throughout history.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. שירה חדשה שבחור גאולים לשמך על שפת הים, יחד כולם הודו, הודו והמליכו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות עושה פלא, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
My favorite Jewish value is joy. It is good to be joyful because being joyful can make others joyful.
My favorite Jewish value is Shemrat Haguf, because you have to take care of yourself in order to take care of others.
My favorite Jewish value is Tikkinu Olam because I love helping people in the earth.
My favorite Jewish value is Simcha because I find it important to be joyful. People have been down these few years.
My favorite Jewish value is Simcha. Joy is having fun. Being joyful is really important.
My favorite Jewish value is Shemrat Haguf because it affects your life forever. It affects you mentally, emotionally, and physically.
My favorite Jewish value is Simcha because I think it is important to be joyful throughout life, and joy brings people happiness.
My favorite Jewish value is Tikkun Olam because I have always wanted to find a way to help other people. I think it's important to help other people, and if we help other people, we are closer to fixing the world.
We continue on page 70 as we rise together for the Amidah. Take a moment for our own private meditations, either following the words of our prayer books or those our hearts might prompt.
Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanara, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh Ha'akol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevii Geulah Lifnei Bneihem, Le'ma'an Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah.
Mechakel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Kayen Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamo Chaba'al Gilgurot, Ulido Melach, Melech Meimit, Chayeh, Matzmiach Yeshua, Ele'emanata Lechachayot,
we sanctify your name on earth, even as your holiness is proclaimed in the heavens above and throughout time and space. In the words of the prophet Isaiah, we say, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The fullness of the whole earth is God's glory.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Melech kol haaretz, Kavodo, Baruch Kavod Adonai, Mimakomo, Yimloch Adonai leolam, Elohai Yichzion, Ledor vador, Hallelujah.
To all generations will make known your greatness, and to all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed is Adonai, the holy God. Please be seated.
Our God and God of our ancestors, accept our rest as a sacrifice of time and space. Let us share in your world by celebrating creation by day, purifying our hearts so that we may be honest and upright, forgiving and compassionate. Blessed are you, O God of truth, who helps us to make the Sabbath part of our life and our heritage of joy.
Look with favor, O God, upon your people of Israel, and receive our prayers with love. May it be your will to accept our worship and our deeds. Blessed are you, who alone we serve in reverence.
Eternal source of good, we thank you for your numberless gifts and blessings that fill our days, for life itself and its endless variety, for all that sustains body and mind, for love and friendship, for the delights of the senses, and for the excellence of your Torah, which deepens our life and enriches our days.
Help us, O God, to work for a just and compassionate society where all may share your gifts in the joy of freedom. For all of this, your name shall be blessed and praised forever.
Yisbechu v'malechutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat, v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yisbechu v'malechutecha, shomrei, shomrei, shomrei Shabbat, v'korei oneg Shabbat. מקדשי שביעי שבת, כולם ישבעו ויתענגו מדובך שבת. ישמחו ומלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו ומלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת.
Those who keep the Sabbath and call it a delight shall rejoice in your majesty. All who hallow the seventh day shall find happiness in your goodness. This day is Israel's festival of the Spirit, sanctified and blessed by you, the most precious of days, a symbol of the joys of creation.
Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, tova uveracha. Yael
us peace, your most precious gift, O
O
eternal source of peace,
and give us the will
to proclaim this message to all peoples of the earth. Bless us, your country,
that it may always be a stronghold of peace and its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within its borders, health and happiness within its homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship among the inhabitants of all lands, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Blessed is the eternal God, the source of peace.
The most important Jewish value we've learned about is simcha, because it is important to be happy and make others happy. It is also healthy for you to have joy, and you have to enjoy life as it is.
The most important Jewish value that we've learned about is tikkun olam, because the earth is our home, and without the world, we would not be here. We need to take care of it, and we need to stop pollution.
The most important Jewish value is tikkun olam, because the world that we are in is not as good as it should be. Our Mahonakim shirts say "Be the One," and that's a reminder that we can all make a difference.
The most important Jewish value we've learned about is Shalom Bayit, peace in the home. For who are we if our homes aren't a place of sanctuary?
The most important Jewish value I've learned is emet, truth. I picked emet because the world is full of lies, and many people want a truthful world.
The most important Jewish value we've learned about is tikkun olam, because repairing the world is an important thing. It is important for our generation and the next.
The most important Jewish value that we've learned about is tikkun olam, because it is important to give back to others in our community.
It shall come to pass in fullness of time that the mountain of Eternal's house shall be established as the highest mountain raised above the hills, and all nations shall follow it.
And many people shall come and say, "Come, let us go up the mountain of Eternal, to the house of God of Jacob. Then we may be taught the ways of our God and walk in the path of the Almighty."
Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein k'ma'asecha, malechutecha malechut kol olamim, u'memshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz le'moyitein, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom.
You may have noticed, for those who've been watching Bar and Bat Mitzvahs in the past 2 years, we've had the Torah sitting out the entire time for services rather than parading around in it. I think we're beginning to move into a place now where we're going to start moving with the Torah around, and parents will get a chance to hold it again. But for now, we wanted to continue the way we've been doing it for safety's sake. Our portion is Mishpatim from the book of Exodus, and I'll be reading part of that as well, chapter 23. And I'd like to call upon all of our staff to help me with the Aliyah, and a way to give a thank you to them, to our teachers, Mindy Nathan and Joe Leipson, who lead our 6th graders, along with our Hebrew teachers, Lynn Goldberg and Miriam Schloss, and all of our Machonakim but one. Max Columbus is one of our Machonakim, but his bar mitzvah is in April, so he can't get the Aliyah just yet. But the other ones are all high school kids who've had their Aliyah. So Macy West, Amanda AC, Aiden Shoresh. You guys go to a microphone anywhere. Go to a microphone. Don't come too close to me. No, COVID. Just kidding. You can, Mindy, you can. Sophie, Aiden Shoresh, Sophia Gorelnik, Oliver Lublin, and Aaron Weisskopf. Did I get all the Mechonikim that work with you guys and help you guys? Yeah? Good. Max, you're going to get your own day soon. Don't you worry. But first of all, a thank you to our teachers and our Mechonikim for working with our students as a part of our SHORESH team, how awesome they are. And they didn't know this was happening. So I just thought it'd be nice for them to help lead us in the Aliyah and get us ready for Torah. By the way, as we read this Torah portion, Mishpatim, this is my bar mitzvah Torah portion. Very special for me. So I'm having flashbacks. I'm sweating a little more than usual in front of the Torah right now. You'll hear me read it the same way I did. I had the same part back then. It was a little smaller, the part down the middle of my head, but it's a special memory nonetheless as I read these verses from 41 years ago. But the Torah hasn't changed, neither have I. No, not at all. If we'll join with our staff as they heroically lead us in our Aliyah. Baruch Hu et Adonai. Baruch Adonai Barach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Barach. Baruch Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai, notein ha'Torah.
Amen. Lo tisa shem ashav al tashet yerchaim rasha, lehiyot eid chamas, lo tiyeh acharei ribim lirot, lo ta'aneh al riv lintot acharei rabim, lahatot v'dal, lo tedar berivo. Ki tifga shor oivecha or chamoro, to'et hashev tashivenu lo. Ki tir'eh chamor son echa, rovetz tachat misa'o, v'chidalta me'azov, lo ozev to'azov imo. Lo tateh mishpat, evyon chaberivo, midbar shaker, tirchok takeh, v'tzadik al teharog, ki lo atzdik rasha, v'shochad lo tikach, ki shochad yever pikchim. Ready, guys? 1, 2, 3, go. Baruch atah
Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah
No tenat. Amen. Yasher Koach to our staff. Thank you all for the honor and being a part of it and being leaders to our kids. You guys can have a seat now. You guys are great. This Torah portion has 53 different commandments within it. 23 that are positive, that we have to do things. 30 that are things that we're not supposed to do. Laws like do not give bribes because bribes cloud the eyes of the righteous, or that you should not bear false witness, or that if you see an ox that's fallen under its burden, you have to lift that burden off it and help the ox, even if it's the ox or donkey of your enemy. You have to help it, and if it's lost, bring it to the person who owns it, even if that's your enemy. And then there's one other verse in there, well, a lot more verses, but another one that says that if you give a loan to someone in your community, you cannot charge interest. So because of that verse, we call this Shabbat Hebrew Free Loan Shabbat. And I want to invite our friend, former board member of Temple Shir Shalom, and a board member of Hebrew Free Loan, Joel Heckler, to come to our bima and share a few words about Hebrew Free Loan and the value of fulfilling that mitzvah.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You can take any microphone you want.
These prayers are hard after the fall.
That's right. Get close, though.
Great job. So,
Get really close to it so we can hear you nice and loud. Yeah. Just hold it. There you go.
you can hear me? No, thank you. So, use this one, Joel.
Shame, no? Yeah. Whatever. You do it, I'll wrap it. Go ahead.
Okay.
His name is Joel. Joel, Hebrew Free Loan. He's going to tell us about the Torah portion.
Yeah, I just used up all my time that he gave me, so sorry about that. But as Rabbi just said, today's portion, Mishpatim, speaks about being a mitzvah to lend money at 0% interest, or it's a mitzvah to lend money without charging interest. So in that spirit, just want to talk about Hebrew Free Loan, or as we call it in Detroit, HFL. I've been associated with Hebrew Free Loan since 2014. I'm now on the executive board. And we're a nonprofit organization underneath the Jewish Federation umbrella. We've been in existence since 1895, so 127 years old, with the intent purpose of providing interest-free loans to the Jewish community. There's 35 active Hebrew Free Loan cities in the world. Hebrew Free Loan Detroit is the 4th largest behind Jerusalem, New York, and San Francisco. We provide a variety of loans. For up to $10,000, you can get a car loan, a home improvement loan, medical, dental, or celebrations, i.e. bar bat mitzvahs. For up to $15,000, you could do a debt consolidation loan or first time moving into Detroit. And $20,000 will support IVF support. We also have the William Davidson Jewish Student Loan, or College Student Loan Program, and we'll provide loans for up to $7,500 for undergraduates per year, up to $10,000 for graduate students per year. The Marvin Danto Business Loan provides loans for up to $100,000 for 51% or greater owned Jewish businesses. So if you go to Hebrew Free Loan, you'll be treated with respect and dignity in a confidential manner in the spirit of Mishpatim. So our website, if you're interested in further information, is hfldetroit.org, or feel free to contact the temple and they'll put you in touch with the appropriate parties. So thank you for your time. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Really wonderful organization. We appreciate your time, Joel, on this Shabbat, but always what Hebrew Free Loan does. Very proud of the organization. Its executive director, David Contour, is a member of Temple Shir Shalom. We love the connections at Temple we have with our community and how we help one another. Just like last night, we celebrated reproductive rights and the importance of that, as National Council of Jewish Women brought that to our attention as it was National Shabbat for reproductive rights, and that's part of this Torah portion too, and it talks about that mitzvah and honoring a woman's choice. And because of the executive director, Susan Gertner and Sally Jo Levine, their upcoming president, and Melissa Kahn, a member of Temple, all part of our Shir Shalom family who are connected with NCAW, these great organizations like Hebrew Free Loan that we're connected with. So, you know, being a part of a Temple family isn't just this little silo that we're in right now. It's a much greater Jewish and nonprofit community around our globe that we care about deeply. And we're really blessed with that too. And so thanks for bringing that mitzvah and the awareness of that, Joel, to us so we can learn of it. And it's really awesome that it comes right from this week's Torah portion. So maybe one of you have Parsha Mishpatim for your bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah Torah portion next year. Who knows? But we'll be reading it again. And if it's there, you'll see Joel next year too, sharing the same message, because it never gets old and it's always important. So, anything else we have to share? How did I do? Oh, that's good too. Hey, you know, let me transition for a moment.
Well, it's tied into community there. So
Yeah.
Rabbi's talking about community and the benefit of being a part of a community, and one of those things that we think of at this time as well is community members who are in need of healing. And there's a tradition that normally we would walk around and touch Torah, but the idea is that those words of Torah for thousands of years have given our people strength. And we think of friends in our community who are in need of healing, who may be sick physically or mentally, who are experiencing anxiety, that need some healing. A refuah shlema, a complete healing of mind, of body, and of spirit. And so as we think of those words of Torah and they're on our lips, we hope that they, as we read these names, that they move us to help our friends and family in need of healing as well. As we say, Misha Be'erach, may the one who blessed our ancestors send those blessings to our loved ones as well. To Alyssa Ayudo, Will Armsden, Doreen Billett, Michael Brody, Larry Burke, Karen Kasman, Patty Seresny, Allison Davis, Michael Eisen, Barbara Esrig, Richard Gotro, Batia Batbesia Panina, Ava Haber-Kornholm, Ty Hall, Andrew Halo, Hank Heiser, Leslie Hubert, Jane Jacobs, Myrna Klein, Serafina Coffrin, Sarah Bat Miriam, Karen Coltoneau, Rick Kornspan, Marta Lazar, Glenn Lee, Henry Leopold, Haley Lippman, Libby McIntyre, Zoe Marcus, Teresa Miji, Allison Mertzman, Gail Mintz, Lev Herschel Ben Batami, Perry Moss, Lori Moss, Linda Newman, Rabbi Robert Nosenchuk, Razel Bat Leah Miriam, Leah Elisheva Bat Avram Vachana, Annette Pines, Eileen Porcelli, Melanie Pohl, Sharon Prower, Leo Prisby, James Raftery, Joanne Reed, Lydia Rofel, the St. Amand family, Rita Seidman, Danny Shepard, Bernard Sklar, Robert Sanino, Roberta Sanino, Barbara Storm, Madeline Taylor, Naomi White. All those battling coronavirus, the 32,455 American troops who have been injured in Iraq and the surrounding areas to date. as well as all the names in our hearts. May God grant them a refuah shlema, complete healing of mind, of body, and of spirit.
The source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
We continue on page 91 with our concluding prayers as we rise together for our adoration.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
O God, who heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds, give comfort to those who mourn. Give them courage and strength, compassion and kindness, and restore to them a sense of life's goodness. Give them the ability to accept the mystery of life and let them soon know peace. Help them endure that which no one can understand, and let us say, Amen. This Shabbat, we think of those friends and family who have been taken from us in these most recent days, whose Shiva, Shloshim, and Shana we mark. Barbara King Herbst, Arthur Tarnow, Judith Sampson, Michael Resnick, David Gahan, Claire Abayev, Jerry Levine, Fran Mirsky, Shalom Nir, Armand Mazius, Joyce Aris, Nat Fishman, Jan Brody, the 4,586 Americans of our armed forces who have been killed in Iraq and the surrounding areas to date, and the 879,988 Americans who have lost their lives to the coronavirus. And to their names we add those whose yard sites were marked, those of whose anniversary of passing we lovingly commemorate. Morris Barr, Jacqueline Burshess, Mayor Blackman, David Blank, Ruth Blumenstein, Leonard Cooper, Dolores Disner, Evelyn Felsenfeld, Isabel Finstein, Albert Finstein, Esther Goldie Fishman, Rose Galix, Joseph Ginsburg, Sarah Goldberg, Edith Goodman, Marvin Gross, Nori Grossman, Leonard Kerner, Adele Kornfeld, Betty Lieberman, Ruth Moore, Bennett Nathan, Lillian Paul, Francis Pierce, Jason Daniel Poland, Louis Popper, Anna Portney, Ethel Rabinowitz, Jonathan Raven, Sheldon Ritchie, Ida Sakwa, Carol Rose Schur, Amy Phyllis Sherman, Perry Schulman, Esta Siegel, Fagel Silverman, Ruth Sipperin, Noreen Solomon, Hilbert Sasson, David Tabashnik, Robert Weinstein, Evelyn Weiss, Helen Zeidman. Along with all the names in our hearts and those who have no one to say Kaddish for them, do we join together as one family, as one community in the immortal words of the mourner's Kaddish as found on page 96 of our prayer books. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'amad divrach hirutei v'amlich malchutei, b'chayachon u'yomachon u'chayei b'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivarach le'olam omei omaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shmei dekudisha, b'richu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran ve'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, huya aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn. Comfort to all the bereaved among us here and everywhere. As together we say, amen.
Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Good Shabbos, everyone. Good Shabbos.
A moment of tish before we conclude our services, but thank you not only to our teachers and madruchim, but also to Andy Eberman and to Alia Alazem, who lead our staff on our Machon Hakim, are part of our team, and help make this all go so smoothly. To our other madruchim, to Ella Blank, one of our song leaders and madruchim, and to Ari Blank, who helps out on Sunday mornings as well. Stellar, as always. And I know Ari's concerned because 12 o'clock there's a game on. He wants to watch the Duke-Louisville game. He's really focused on. So, yeah, me too. Hey, other things, someone asked me about Israel trips before we started our services, and there is a family Israel trip that we'll be doing that's going next December over winter break. Probably like the 23rd to January 3rd should be our dates. I can give you more information. We're going to go live with registration very soon for that. For those of you, all of you who have a bar mitzvah coming up, it's a great way to celebrate a bar bat mitzvah because we do read Torah when we're in Israel together, and your children have a chance to read a couple of verses with me and our community when we're there. So it's always a wonderful trip to do as a family. And as you hear me often talk about, that was my first way going to Israel when I was 11 years old, between my brothers and my bar mitzvah with my rabbi and his family, and it was a great experience. So hope that you'll think about that opportunity, and we'll share in that together. Other things to share?
So 2 other trips, just because I know there's some high school students or siblings that have of high school students, and we have our teen mission this summer that we're still recruiting for. Rabbi Mike and I are going to be taking a group of Shir Shalom teens in partnership with the other congregations in town and Tamarack Camps and Federation for a wonderful experience, a month-long experience in Israel, and there's still spots for that. And if you have a sibling or you have a child that's in college, talk to me about a free trip to Israel that we have for them that's coming up in May that I'll be leading to.
Come on, they should go. Kaplansky kids. Elise, remember that teen mission? Come on, 1996, that was awesome. So, just reminiscing.
Other announcements, just things to be aware of for those of you that are 6th grade parents. Next weekend on Sunday, February 6th, we have our B'nai Mitzvah Institute #1. So it's a meeting at 10 o'clock after Tefillah at the JCC for you to be able to hear about the bar and bat mitzvah process and everything that goes along with that.
Yes, it's an important time, and you get to ask any question you want about it. And even if you've been through it before, there's always some things that we're tweaking with that as well. And and if you did it last year, when your children were in 5th grade, you've got the material. You don't have to come to that. We don't mandate again that we do this. We invite everyone who has a bar mitzvah within a 2-year or, year and a half time period. So you may have been invited to it last year, depending on your bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah date of your family. If you went to it a year ago, I think it was last January 31st. We did it last year. You don't have to do it this year. Correct?
But make sure if you want.
You could if you want to have a refresher. Because, what we do, it's always fresh, always spicy, always good, and you'll enjoy it, right? It's a good, no? Too much? Work with me here. Come on, people.
Speaking of fresh and spicy, you want to talk about Tish?
Tish, you can ask any question you want about Jewish. Lorber questions coming at us right now. Is that what the question was? Or you just want to know, when is Oneg and do we get to eat lunch soon? Yeah, I'm feeling the same way. Question, we haven't done Tish like this in a long time. You can ask any question you want about Jewish law or lore, about the Torah portion, anything that's on your mind, and we rabbis have to answer it to the best of our ability, which are limited, these abilities these days, because, we've been in this fog. But nonetheless, you can ask, or our 6th graders can too. Or not. Everyone's just thinking, when do we get to lunch?
One question, Jen.
Jennifer Moore.
What's my pick for the Super Bowl? I have a lot of thoughts about this, but I have to say, I'm not a big fan of the NFL these days because of concussions and injuries, and I just think it's a pugilistic thing where men are paid to beat the crap out of each other, and I really don't like it. So, but I'll still watch it because we make really good chili that night. And I'm a fan of pop culture, and I got to see who's going to, really entertain us. So I have no idea. There's that. How's that? But basketball, Duke is doing awesome, number 6 in the country right now. That's what we're looking forward to. And we know they're going to be in the Final Four in the championship for 2 reasons. Because I will be in Israel that week, and it's in New Orleans where my daughter lives, and she wants to go to the game with me. So 2 reasons I have to miss it, and I won't be there. So there you go. We just know it's a proof, it's fact.
Chiefs.
I like to see the Bengals, though. Don't you think the Bengals deserve it? It was 1989.
It's been a long time.
I remember I was living in Scotland. My roommate was from Cincinnati. We were up, It was like 4 in the morning the game was going on. It was ridiculous. We had to watch that in a pub. But in Scotland, the pubs stay open really late, so it's okay. Because you know what? Forget it. I won't go there. It gets dark at 3 in the afternoon, so you got to figure out something to do. And so 2:30 in the afternoon. Okay. Sorry. I just want to tell you how I feel. Don't you want to know my... You with me? Well, with that in mind, we give thanks for the sweetness of this day, the joy of Shabbat, as we rise together.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim. You say, Adonai oz le'amoyitin. May God bless you with strength. Adonai yivarech etamo v'shalom. May God bless all of us here and everywhere with peace. As we conclude our services today, I know that some of you who have signed up, our 6th grade families, are invited to a special oneg afterwards, or a kiddush luncheon afterwards. And if you RSVP that you're going to be here for that, following services as we leave, we have tables that are set up in the social hall for you. The way that our meals are working while we're at Temple these days is that we've separated them so that every family gets their own table, or for our Mechonakim that are here without parents and family, you guys, there's an 8-foot table that's there for you with one of you at each end of it, as well as our teachers to be able to have that as well. The idea being that we want, as our kids do at school, or are supposed to do at school, have 6 to 8 feet between people as you're taking off masks as you do that. So we're going to start off and have every family grab a table in there that's a part of that. and then we'll have you come up and grab food. Somebody will serve you from our catering team. Platinum Dish is our caterer. They're also the ones that do the bar and bat mitzvah celebrations here as well. So Paul Wirtz, who's the owner of that, is here and can probably answer questions too, if anybody was curious about some of those things too. But if you want to make your way in, there's a place to wash your hands in the bathroom, and we also have sanitizer at the beginning of the line. And Shabbat Shalom, everyone.